Breaking. Jaguar Wright didn't just spill tea. She poured the whole damn kettle and lit Hollywood on fire. Imagine this. The industry's favorite scapegoat, Cat Williams, dragged through the mud again, framed as the villain, painted as the chaos king, blamed for everything short of global warming. And then Jaguar storms in and says the words nobody else had the guts to say, "Stop blaming him." Yeah, you heard that right. While the media feeds you recycled lies, while the elite sip champagne in their glass towers, Jaguar is exposing the truth they prayed would never see daylight. She's calling it what it is, a cover-up, a setup, a dirty little game where Cat is the fall guy and the real devils hide in the shadows pulling the strings. So ask yourself this, if Cat isn't the villain, then who's the mastermind? Who's cashing the checks, bearing the evidence, and laughing while the world points at the wrong man? Twitter is exploding, TikTok edits are already viral, and Hollywood execs are sweating bullets. Because when Jaguar Wright opens her mouth, she doesn't whisper, she detonates. Buckle up. The truth train just left the station, and it's not stopping. Let's set the stage, because what just unfolded isn't your regular Hollywood mess. It's a circus, a courtroom drama, a Netflix documentary waiting to happen. And right in the middle of it all, Cat Williams, the chaos king himself, dragged across headlines like he's single-handedly responsible for every scandal in Tinseltown. But here's where the script flips, because Jaguar Wright just stood up and said, "Nah, y'all got it twisted." And when Jaguar talks, she doesn't mince words. She points fingers, she names names, and she makes sure the industry feels the heat. So how did we even get here? Why is Cat Williams once again trending for all the wrong reasons? Let's rewind the tape. Cat isn't new to controversy. He's been arrested more times than TMZ has refreshed its homepage. From fights at airports to roast sessions that turned into lawsuits, his rap sheet looks like a reality show script. Hollywood loves to label him unhinged, dangerous, a problem. But Jaguar says that's exactly the point. According to her, every one of those so-called scandals was manufactured, exaggerated, or downright planted to make sure Cat's reputation stays in the gutter. Sound crazy? Maybe. But let's be real. Does anything in Hollywood ever happen by accident? Take the Reggie Carroll situation. The official narrative? That Cat was somehow tied up in a violent plot that ended in tragedy. The media painted him as the puppet master, the judge echoed the accusations, and the public ate it up like popcorn. But Jaguar isn't buying it. She says the timelines don't match, the evidence doesn't add up, and the whole thing smells like a setup. And if you've been paying attention, you know this wouldn't be the first time a celebrity got turned into a scapegoat to protect the powerful. Think about Michael Jackson. Think about Prince. Both men accused of being difficult. Both men dead under suspicious circumstances. Both of them warning us years before about how the industry really works. Jaguar is connecting those dots, and she's pointing straight at the elites, executives, politicians, even fellow entertainers, who she claims are using Cat as a shield to protect their own dirty secrets. Let's pause right here, because doesn't that sound convenient? Anytime something goes wrong, blame the wild comedian who already has a messy track record. No one asks too many questions, no one digs too deep, and the real masterminds get to keep sipping their champagne in private jets. Jaguar said it best. Stop blaming him. But here's the kicker. This isn't just about saving Cat's reputation. This is about exposing the machine. According to Jaguar, the industry runs on blood contracts, silence agreements, and cover-ups, so tight you'd think they were written by the CIA. And Cat? He broke the number one rule. He spoke. He called out the elites in interviews, roasted them in stand-up specials, and even hinted at secret gatherings he called red rooms. So when Reggie Carroll's death hit the headlines, Jaguar claims the machine saw its chance. Pin it on Cat. Drag his name through the dirt. Turn him into the villain, so no one asks what really happened behind the scenes. And let me tell you, the internet is divided. On one side, you've got the lock him up crowd who believe every tabloid headline. On the other side, you've got the conspiracy theorists, the truth seekers, the ones dissecting every leaked document and courtroom sketch like it's the Zapruder film. But Jaguar? She's not whispering theories in Reddit threads. She's saying it out loud, on record, with the kind of confidence that makes Hollywood execs lose sleep. She says there's evidence, sealed files, redacted reports, and testimonies that never made it to the courtroom. She claims Cat was targeted from the jump because he refused to play ball, refused to compromise, refused to sell out. And honestly, it makes sense. Think about it. Why would a man who made millions laugh, who had the world at his feet, suddenly risk it all in a reckless plot? Why would he destroy everything he built, unless someone wanted him destroyed? Here's the part that really blows my mind. Jaguar says multiple insiders, assistants, security guards, even ex-label execs have quietly confirmed what she's saying. Anonymous sources allegedly told her that Cat was never supposed to be the fall guy, but when Reggie was gone, the machine needed someone to take the blame. And who better than the loudmouth comedian who already had a reputation for chaos? The cameras never missed a beat, the background music hummed low, and the dinner table looked peaceful until Yandy dropped a revelation so earth-shattering it shattered the calm like glass. What began with clinking glasses and easy laughter turned into a battlefield when whispers of a secret pregnancy detonated in the middle of the night, dragging Sierra and Mendeecees into a scandal no one imagined. Witnesses swore the air was so heavy it could choke you. Fans went wild, insiders started leaking, and one burning question caught fire everywhere. What exactly did Yandy say that had Sierra storming out in tears and Mendeecees frozen like a statue? This wasn't some careless slip of the tongue. No, this was a time bomb, carefully planted, perfectly executed, that threatened marriages, friendships, and reputations. From Sierra's fiery meltdown to Mendeecees' deafening silence, every second of this dinner became a viral nightmare. Was this a confession finally bubbling to the surface, or a calculated strike designed to destroy bonds that were already crumbling? Buckle up, because the deeper you dig, the darker this storm gets. The evening had started with smiles, inside jokes, and fake attempts at civility. But beneath those polished smiles were scars of old betrayals. Yandy sat quietly at first, watching, calculating, letting the chatter float around her like smoke. But those who knew her best could sense it. She wasn't staying silent. She was waiting to attack. And when the laughter peaked, she struck. Her words sliced through the noise like a blade. It wasn't just what she said, it was how she said it. Calm, measured, confident, as if she had been rehearsing this for months. She announced that the truth could no longer be buried. Something Sierra needed to hear, something everyone needed to hear. The room shifted instantly. Sierra's laughter froze. Mendeecees' eyes darted nervously, and the air grew suffocating. Guests glanced at each other, some uncomfortable, others intrigued. Those who later watched the footage swore you could feel the weight of that silence through the screen. Then Yandy dropped it. Whispers of a pregnancy, one that connected straight to Mendeecees, and by extension, threatened to drag Sierra into the ugliest scandal of her life. Gasps sliced through the table. Drinks were nearly spilled, voices whispered frantically, and a silence followed so sharp that each second felt endless. Sierra snapped. She shoved her chair back, face flushed with rage and disbelief. "What are you even saying?" she fired, her voice cracking between fury and fear. Mendeecees sat stiff, knuckles white against the table, but he didn't deny it. He didn't defend himself. And that hesitation? It screamed louder than words. Fans pointed out instantly. This was the man known for excuses, for explanations, but now he was mute. That silence was louder than any confession. Yandy didn't blink. She pressed harder, claiming that rumors had been swirling for weeks, whispers of secret meetings and private conversations too big to ignore. She said the evidence was mounting, and it was time to drag the truth into the light. Sierra's eyes blazed as she turned to Mendeecees. "Tell me she's lying," she demanded, slamming her palm on the table. "Say it, say this isn't true." Her voice trembled, desperate, because she already knew. Silence meant guilt. The guests froze, some trying to calm the chaos, others leaning closer, like vultures. The night had gone from playful to catastrophic in seconds. Mendeecees finally muttered, his voice weak. "It's not what it sounds like." But those words only poured gasoline on the fire. Sierra exploded, tears cutting down her face. Not what it sounds like. Either it's true or it isn't, she shouted, shaking. Fans online called it one of the most gut-wrenching confrontations they'd ever seen. Sierra's heartbreak was raw and visible, while Yandy's expression stayed cold, unflinching, like a woman who knew this reaction was inevitable. The accusations flew like knives. Sierra hurled betrayal after betrayal at Mendeecees, questioning his loyalty, his honesty, his love. Her words dripped with pain and humiliation. Yandy doubled down, insisting the truth was better revealed now than buried in lies. She spoke of accountability, of consequences, of ripping masks away no matter how devastating. The table split in half. Some praised Yandy for exposing the truth. Others accused her of ambushing Sierra at the worst possible time. Sierra's voice cracked again as she asked the question no one could dodge. Is it true? The desperation in her voice was unbearable. This wasn't gossip anymore. This was her life collapsing in front of everyone. Mendeecees lowered his eyes, refusing to meet hers. His silence detonated through the room. Gasps filled the air. Sierra's knees nearly buckled as her world crumbled. She stood violently, chair screeching across the floor. Her finger pointed at him, trembling. You let me smile. You let me laugh while you knew. You humiliated me in front of everyone. Tears blurred her vision as she stormed out, slamming the door behind her like a final gunshot. But the chaos didn't end. The room buzzed, voices clashing, theories spinning. Guests demanded Yandy explain more, while others stared at Mendeecees, waiting for answers he never gave. He buried his face in his hands, muttering inaudibly as cameras captured every second. Later, fans online replayed the footage frame by frame, dissecting expressions, spotting guilt in his silence, and debating whether this was betrayal or setup. But one thing was certain. This dinner would be remembered as the night secrets ripped the entire room apart. For viewers, this wasn't just about the secret itself. It was about how it was unleashed. The sharp timing of Yandy's words, the sheer force in her delivery, and Sierra's heartbreaking collapse fused into a moment no one will ever forget. The fallout had only just begun, but the wreckage was undeniable. Bonds had snapped. Trust was in ruins. And audiences everywhere were left asking how anyone could recover from a night that ripped open such painful truths. Some insisted this was just another messy chapter of reality TV, but others argued Sierra's pain was far too raw, too unfiltered, to be dismissed as entertainment. This wasn't a storyline. This was devastation playing out live. After Sierra stormed out, the air thickened like smoke. Guests shifted in their chairs, whispering, torn between chasing after her or staying frozen. Yandy sat tall, her face carved in stone, while Mendeecees buried his in trembling hands. The silence burned until one guest broke it. So it's true? That single question reignited the flames. Mendeecees lifted his head, eyes bloodshot. I didn't want it to come out like this, he muttered. Instead of calming anyone, those words detonated the room. Gasps erupted, heads shook. One guest even sneered, coward. Yandy leaned forward, her stare daring him to speak. So, you admit it? She asked, her voice steady but razor-sharp. He didn't answer. He didn't have to. His silence screamed louder than a confession. From outside, Sierra's voice pierced the walls, broken, sobbing, furious. Don't touch me. Don't tell me it's okay. He's been lying to me. Who knows for how long? Her anguish echoed back inside, slicing through Mendeecees like glass. Fans later pointed out how Yandy's role shifted in that moment. She wasn't just exposing anymore. She was judge, jury, and executioner. How long were you planning to keep this from her? She demanded. Mendeecees' fist slammed against the table. I was protecting her, he snapped. Yandy's reply was merciless. Protecting her? From what? From knowing her whole life is a lie. Guests scrambled to intervene, some urging Mendeecees to go after Sierra. Others saying it was already too late. Outside, Sierra clutched her phone, sobbing into the shoulder of a family member on the line. You won't believe what just happened, she whispered through tears. He's been hiding something that changes everything. Her family's furious voices spilled through the receiver, demanding she leave, telling her she deserved better. Back inside, Yandy turned to the room. "Everyone here had the right to know," she declared. "This isn't just about Sierra. We've all been deceived. This is about trust." Guests buzzed with shock. One whispered, "She's brave for saying it, but this will destroy everything." Another replied, "Destroy? It's already destroyed. She just ripped the bandage off." Mendeecees finally rose, his chair scraping like thunder. "Enough," he barked, trembling with anger and desperation. "You think you know, but you don't. You don't know the sacrifices, the pressure. I made mistakes, yes, but not everything she says is true." Yandy's eyes narrowed. "So, which part is a lie?" she fired back. The silence stretched, Mendeecees choking on words he couldn't find. Fans later replayed the footage frame by frame, pointing to his hesitation as proof of deeper secrets. Then, the door burst open. Sierra returned, her face swollen, voice raw. She stood across from Mendeecees, trembling. "Say it to my face. Is it true?" The room froze. He opened his mouth, closed it, then whispered, "Yes." The gasp that followed shook the walls. Sierra's knees buckled, her friends catching her before she collapsed. Tears streamed as she steadied herself, but her fury returned. She pointed at Mendeecees, her voice breaking yet powerful. "You humiliated me. In front of everyone. In front of the world. I will never forgive you." Mendeecees reached out, but she recoiled. "Don't touch me. You lost that right the second you betrayed me." Yandy shook her head, her voice low but firm. "This is what happens when lies pile up. Truth always finds a way to surface." The guests were split, some urging Sierra to walk away for good, others whispering there might be more still hidden. The uncertainty only fueled the frenzy. The night spiraled as arguments broke out across the house. Social media lit up instantly. Clips spread like wildfire, slowed down, zoomed in, analyzed like evidence in a trial. Hashtags exploded. Fan theories multiplied. Some called Yandy a hero, others accused her of cruel humiliation, but no one could look away. Sierra finally left the house, sliding into the back seat of a friend's car. The cameras caught her pressed against the window, silent tears streaking her face. Back inside, Mendeecees sat alone in the corner, head low. Yandy defended herself, clashing with those who said she went too far. "If you love someone, you don't lie," she argued. She deserved the truth. The night ended in ruins, friendships fractured, questions unanswered, emotions scorched beyond repair. And for viewers, it was a spectacle so raw, so real, it couldn't be dismissed. By the next morning, the fallout was everywhere. Fans dissected every second, every look, every breath, replaying clips like forensic evidence. The internet had turned a dinner party into a crime scene, and the world was addicted. Hashtags burned across social media for hours, painting Sierra as the betrayed victim and Mendeecees as the villain of the decade. But not everyone agreed. Some argued Yandy's timing was cruel, that exposing a secret so publicly was its own kind of violence. The internet was in chaos, fans debating nonstop, but Sierra herself? Silent. No posts. No replies. Not even a whisper. And that silence only fueled the storm. Was she still with him? Had she left for good? The uncertainty fed the frenzy. Behind closed doors, the drama raged hotter. Sierra fled to her sister's home, a fragile sanctuary where she could breathe. Yet even there, she couldn't outrun the pain. Curled on the couch, her sister's arm around her shoulders, she replayed the night again and again. "How could he do this to me?" she sobbed. Her sister shook her head.